this side. Hi, guys.
Hey!
How's everybody doing?
We were just discussing what weeks it is since we haven't been on here for 2 weeks. Because of weather and because of people being gone because of weather. We've had a lot of snow and ice.
And if there's people gone and there's nobody to watch the front, you don't get to see us.
Sorry.
It doesn't
happen.
We
miss it, too.
We do miss it.
Hi, Carla Jean.
Hi, Carla.
So we're playing catch-up today. We are doing weeks
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Which is days
4 and 5.
No, days 3 and 5.
3 and 5.
We did days
this is so confusing.
2 and 4 the last time. Sorry. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Mom. Okay, so I guess we'll just dive right in.
So day 5 or day 5. See, I can't even talk. Day 3 was vegetation.
Yes.
So that's the day that we're on. And Whitney wrote day 3's. And its separation isn't always bad.
And that was 2 weeks ago. So please forgive me if I forget things. Say hi to Lila Bell.
Hi, Lila.
Is it Bell?
Bell. It looks like Bell.
Hi, Lila. I'll just say Lila. Okay, so separation isn't always bad is the first title. And then I cited Genesis 1, 9 through 13 because that was the day that we're speaking about. And God said, let the waters under the heavens be collected into one place of standing and let the dry land appear. And it was so. God called the dry land earth and the cumulative waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good, fitting, admirable, and he approved it. And God said, let the earth put forth tender vegetation, plants yielding seeds, and fruit trees yielding fruit, which seed is in itself, each according to its kind upon the earth. And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed according to their own kinds, and trees bearing fruit, in which was their seed, each according to its kind. And God saw that it was good, suitable, admirable, and he approved it. And there was evening, and there was morning, a third day. And then there's Matthew 8:7. Do you want to read that?
It's Matthew 8:27. I want to say something about the Genesis before. And I don't know, I was going to look it up. This is the Amplified version. Does it say in every version he approved it? Because I'd never noticed that before, and I really liked that.
I didn't notice it in King James or anything. It's just that, and he saw that it was good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I liked this, and he approved it, mark of approval. I liked that. I just wanted to say that. Okay, Matthew 8:27. The men were amazed and asked, what kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him. Mm-hmm. And then Jeremiah 32:17. Ah, sovereign Lord, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power and outstretched arm. Nothing is too hard for you. So, I wrote about the separating the earth and the water, and that the separation was good, right? Because had it not been for that separation, Emma would be in hog heaven, but we would be mermaids or some other form of. We would be fishies.
We would be different. Yeah, we wouldn't be land walking and able to rule the earth and the sea if there wasn't a separation of it. So, but I said, too, that I think oftentimes when separation occurs in our life, such as friendships, dwindling, space between jobs, waiting for an answer to come, it hurts. It feels like, okay, God, what are you doing? Because oftentimes when there's separation, too, there can be pain in that transition and a season of not understanding what's happening. Why is this happening? Why do I not talk to that friend very much? Or why did I just let go from this job? What's going to happen next? There's this separation, but it's not always bad. That good things grow from separation, just like the trees and the grasses and the fruit trees and the seeds here, the plants that have their own seeds of their own kind, that it doesn't take, which the bees, they come and they pollinate. It doesn't take another outside source to come and carry the seed and fertilize the seed. They seed themselves. And that too was something else that spoke to me, that God grows you up big in the separations, that if everything's hunky-dory all the time, you don't necessarily feel like you need him, because we're so self-centered like that. You lose sight of him. And not to say that he brings separation so that you have the pain, but that he brings the separation to grow you big, to make sure that you can plant your own seed and grow from the seed that he's given you. That you don't have to have the perfect amount of sunlight or the perfect job. You don't have to have this little bee that comes and carries things off, like the perfect friend to like build you up every single day. That you're going to be founded enough in him and firm enough in him that you're going to plant where you're going to blossom and you're going to grow where he puts you. And that's what this section, Genesis 1:9-13, that was the picture that I got in my head, right, and what I kind of wrote about.
I keep thinking about Katie, our friend, she works up here. She gave me a succulent plant, I don't know, a few months ago. I do not have a green thumb, like, not in the slightest. And so it's been sitting over there, and she keeps yelling at me to water it. And I do want to water it. I swear. It just dies because I guess I don't love it enough. But, so there was, like, this whole... She would know what they are. There's this whole part of it that it's called, I think, what is the Shrek ears? You know, that succulent? And then there was, like, this viney succulent on the other side. Well, the Shrek ear thing is doing great, but the vine side of it is dying. And so the other day, she comes in and she's, like, griping at me about my succulent plant and how terrible it looks. Well, I'd taken it, and I don't have a window by my desk, and she does by hers. And I'd taken it, and I thought, maybe sunshine. And I put it in the window by her desk, and she told me I was freezing it.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I don't know what it needs. It doesn't talk.
Or bark.
So she takes to the table, and she starts doing whatever people do to plants. And she pulls out the side that's, like, dying, the viney side, because I don't know, I can't figure it out. Like, the root part of it, and, like, halfway through, it was, like, just black. Like, it was dead. Oops. It was black and dead. But then, like, the viney part that hung down was still fine. And it was still making little baby things. So she takes it out, roots and all, and she, like, breaks it to where the dead part is off of it, which is, like, where the roots are. And she just stuck the part that's still, like, that it's got, like, little seed things that fall everywhere. And she just, like, stuck that entire vine part down into the soil. And she's like, it'll be fine. It'll just, like,
it'll come back.
It'll be fine. And I'm, like, so amazed by that, and that made me think of this. It was like, we're just gonna cut off the bad part of you, and we're gonna stick the good part of you back in the soil, and you are gonna be fine.
That's right. You're gonna grow and
hopefully
be better.
They water and feed it better than I do. So,
so worksheet number 1, where is God creating separation at in your life? And number 2, are you praying for a heavenly mindset to work in tandem with God to grow your fruit tree? And then challenge was, ask God to give you eyes to see, a heart that hears, and that he shows you what is next in your heavenly book. And that was week 3.
Week 3.
For us. Okay.
So, week 4 was interesting. Because...
Yes,
I did all this research, and I went down this big rabbit hole. But so, week 4 is Paths of Migration, is what the name of it is. And it is based on Genesis 1:20-23. And it said, and God said, let the waters teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky. So God created the great creatures of the sea, and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, and he said, be fruitful and migrating, because I know that there's a difference. I know that...
Do you guys hear us?
Are you still there?
Will someone post, because things are being weird on our live thing up there.
I wonder if I bring it up if we're, like, still going.
Is anyone there?
Is anyone out there?
Because it's, like, cutting us in and out for some lovely reason.
It's black.
Black.
Right?
I don't know. Now you're on there.
Whoop.
It froze up for a minute, but we're going now. Okay, do you see us though,
Do you
or is
see
it
us?
a
Do you hear
black
us?
screen?
It's
Mother.
like froze on my side.
Because it's. I mean, we see us looking at the thing, but
Is it hot?
can you see our faces?
Can you hear us and see us? Oh, we move.
I see you. She
Okay.
said. Oh,
Good deal.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what I was saying.
that you did some research.
Oh, I did some research. I Googled it. And because I know that it's different, it's like certain species of fish migrate and certain species of birds migrate. And I wanted to know why they do this.
Mm-hmm.
So it says fish migrate between their spawning, feeding, and nursery grounds, and birds migrate south due to the coldness of the northern winters and back again in the springtime. And according to the internet, allaboutbirds.org, they should know, take advantage of, I don't know what that word is, burgeoning insect populations, budding plants, and abundance of nesting locations. So they go where, the food is. And that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was thinking about, how that applies to us. What's our season and how God migrates us where the food is, where we need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go through down this rabbit hole, whole researching for this, and I'm like looking up birds in the Bible, and I'm looking up fish in the Bible, and I find out all of this stuff about the Christian symbol, the fish symbol for Jesus, and how I thought that was just kind of like a pop culture kind of thing. It's not. It's like an ancient symbol, and that they would write that, and it meant, that was safe, and somebody would come and they would do the last part of it, and that meant, they were a Christian too when Christians were being persecuted, and like all of these things. I found out all of these things, and I'm like, well, how am I going to write a devotional? This is a lot of information. But I wanted it definitely. I really like the story of Jonah. We've talked about this before. My son's middle name is Jonah. And I kept coming back to when Jesus was baptized and the dove. So, long story short, Jonah in Hebrew means dove. Isn't that crazy how everything just came full circle?
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Hi, Trish.
Hi. So, in the devotional I talk about how Jonah runs from God. God tells him that he needs to go to Nineveh and he needs to preach the gospel and tell about him, and Jonah's like, psh, no. And he gets on a boat and he goes in the opposite direction, and a big fish comes and swallows him, and it doesn't say this in my Bible anyways, and I looked it up because I always thought, and maybe that's just something that I think in me or something I was taught growing up, that fish carried him right outside of Nineveh and spit him out. Like, this is where you're going, this is where you're supposed to be, I spit you out here. And that's where the Lord wanted him to be. And even after that, Jonah's he's just such a wine bag. He really is. Because he goes and he shouts the word to Nineveh, and then, I don't remember what all happens, but somehow he goes and he sits out by a tree and has this whole little pity party out by this tree, and he just is kind of a wine bag. But then, that's not really the point of the story. But then I talk about when Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, and how a dove came down and landed on him, signifying the Spirit of God. And how when we're baptized, we're leaving one season and entering another as clean and prepared to do God's work. Just like in Jonah's time, when the fish gave him time to be prepared to do what the Lord had called him. And just like with week 3 and having the seeds that are put in you that need to grow and they need the time to grow, that's almost like your migrating period of this waiting period of traveling and learning and to get to where you're going. I say, like the fish and the birds, we are migrating during the seasons of our lives. God will send us down the path we need to go to do His word. During our migration, we will see the spawning of new ideas, the nourishment of our souls, and then finally the birth of God's plan. So, the worksheet is, number 1, are you on a path of migration? And I hope you are, because if you're not, that means that you're not growing, that you're just sitting there stagnant. Grow,
Ew.
people, grow.
What a word.
Yeah, stagnant. And The second question is, in what ways do you see a correlation between the stories of Jonah and Jesus' baptism and your life? The challenge is research about birds and fish in the Bible, and it will take you down an incredible path because it's just, there's so much.
There are. It was crazy whenever we were talking about it, how much symbolism they use birds and fish to explain
Everything.
tons of stuff.
It's crazy.
It is. And that, which, and I, we were talking too, like, why would he take a whole day to just do birds and fish?
Mm-hmm. Like, why is that important? Because, I mean, even man and animals are all on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So birds and fish, it's like, okay, what's so great about birds and fish?
That'll be a question when we get up there. Like, why? I mean, other than the fact that you're going to use it as, like, epic symbolism, why whole day? I mean, because all he has to do is speak,
I know.
And they're just like, bloop, 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 bloop. But
I don't know. It's just mind-boggling to me, the entirety of it.
And he doesn't do anything without intent or without reason. There's always a reason for everything.
Well, and it makes you think, I do, because I think in these terms, but like when he's dividing up the fish and the loaves and he's thinking, this is nothing. I made all of these fish.
Right. You
and
will
now,
multiply.
There you go.
That's
a whole bunch
right.
of fish for everyone.
Mm-hmm. That's true. He's just
like, got this.
Yeah. Everything's under control.
Yep.
So, there you go. Week
3 and 4.
I don't even know anymore.
It's week 3 and 4.
Okay.
Days, what did I say?
I don't know.
Days 3 and 5.
So next week we'll do day 6 on week
6.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. God.
Okay.
So we would do week 6 on day 6 on week 6. That shouldn't be that confusing to say. The whole point of the series is how the 7 days of creation and how they apply to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, every day, we're this formless and empty nothing, and then he just makes you into who you're supposed to be, and he does it with such intent and purpose. It's amazing.
It's true. And good. And in some seasons, like, just in different kinds of animals, their maturing season or their hibernation season, their between when the egg is fertilized to whenever they're born, all of those seasons are different times, and how different things in our life can happen very quickly, or some can take a long time to mature, and how once it all kind of comes to a head and you become this whole other person, and then you just keeps on going, though. Like, you never stop. You're never just,
I know,
who you're supposed to be. He's just always working you towards. It's crazy. It's mind-boggling, actually.
Like, there's not an end goal. It's just a progression.
Mm-hmm.
Constant progression.
Yes. To always be better every second than you were the second before.
Well, and I mean, he's never done using you for his purpose. He's never done. It doesn't matter how old you are, or how young you are, or how wise you are, or how silly you are. Like, if you've given yourself over to that, to him using you, he's going to use you.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's true.
He's going to continue to use you as long as you're obedient and you say yes.
Yes. That is very true. He will use you in such a way that at times you won't recognize yourself. And it's so fun to be in that weak point that he makes you strong.
Mm-hmm.
He's just very fun.
Yep.
And scary.
But in a good way.
Yes, a very good way. Fun way.
Yep.
So, anyways, I guess day 6, week 6, next Friday.
Next Friday. And dang it, we're going to get on here.
Yes.
That was me today. I kept walking by her office. I'd walk by with my coffee cup and look at her, and she'd be like, "Just a minute," And then, like, 5 minutes, I walk away again. And she's like, I'm coming! Like,
It's
we've
bad
got
sometimes.
to do it.
Yes. And then what? Is it next Friday that we're getting together?
Yes.
So regardless, if we don't do it up here, we will do
We're
it
together
that
all evening.
and we'll have other people with us if we do that. So
Yeah, we'll make everybody join. There's
Yes.
your warnings.
Yeah. you've been put on notice.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
And thanks for joining us in our crazy.
Yes. I hope you guys are never bored.
No.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.